Fanatics isn't just our name. Fanatics isn't just our name, it's who we are. Loyal, passionate fans dedicated to our favorite teams and to the sports we love. That's why we're honored to be able to offer fans the world's largest collection of official sports apparel and sports jerseys from all leagues, teams, and players you love. We feature a wide selection of gear from every league, including the NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, and NCAA merchandise, which allows us to serve fans of football, baseball, hockey, basketball, lacrosse, soccer, golf, and, well, everything else that gets your heart pumping. Go to fanatics.com by using the QR code on your screen right now to celebrate your teams. That's fanatics.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Discover our collection of handcrafted candles. That's right, every product is thoughtfully created in small batches free from harmful toxins for mindful everyday indulgence. Our candles are hand-poured in coconut soy wax with natural wood wicks, offering a long-lasting burn and rich fragrances. Create a cozy, safe ambiance for your home with candles from Alley Rose Fragrances. First-time customers use the promo code InsideEdge20 to receive 20% off your order. AlleyRoseFragrances.com, proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Podcast Network.
This is Midnight Run on the Inside Edge Network. Here's your host, Anthony Alford.
And hello, everybody. Welcome to Midnight Run here on the Inside Edge Network. My name is Anthony Alford. It's great to have you with us. It is now 12:06, and we are rocking and rolling here on the Inside Edge Network. Officially now June 2nd, 2026. Anything going on today? Anything worth talking about? Well, you got the Guardians. We got some stuff. Got the NBA Finals now. We know the big story, of course, with Myles Garrett. He has been traded to the Los Angeles Rams. We've had full coverage all throughout the day right here on the Inside Edge Network. And again, thank you guys for tuning in. Remember to like and subscribe at Inside Edge Net across all of our social media platforms, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. We are all over the place. Twitch at Inside Edge Net. And also go to our website, InsideEdgeNetwork.com. We have programming 7 days a week. In fact, our schedule, you can see it. We'll have a ticker up in a little bit. But definitely we'll have all that set up, ready to go. InsideEdgeNetwork.com. Cleveland's digital leader. You've heard a lot of perspectives. I guess first off, the trade itself. The trade itself, obviously, I mentioned in our breaking news coverage, and I think it stands here. First off, hold up. I got to do something real quick. I got to turn my fan on. Stand by for 2 seconds. Because it's hot. It is hot. And I can't open my windows. So this tells you that we are live. Because I will not be sweating my behind off during the shows. I couldn't believe it. I'm interviewing Tim Alcorn. I'm sweating bullets. I'm like, so what do you think about the Eastern Conference Finals? Oh my God. Oh, what is going on? Won't happen. I blame my coffee. Good stuff. All right, the trade itself. Obviously, you know the details with the trade. Of course, Myles Garrett heading over to the Rams. I'll give you the details. Of course, Jarrett Verse is on his way here from the Rams. He's a defensive end. And then, we got some other details as well. So here it is. Verse from the Los Angeles Rams. We're going to also get a 2027 first-round pick. That will be very important down the road. 2028 second-round pick, 2029 third-round pick. I've heard various opinions about the trade itself. I do think a lot of the trade opinion is really based on what you think of what we're getting back in return from the Rams. With so if that's going to be huge. That's going to be huge from that standpoint. I like his film. Let's see what he delivers. But we kind of knew this was coming, right? I do blame the Browns for not pulling the trigger on this a year ago when Myles Garrett went on that media tour. I think there's a perspective of teams trying to project, oh, we're going to do things my way on my terms. I think you would have got more value if you would have traded. Actually, I know they would have got more if they would have traded Myles a year ago. But here we are. And it's a love story that, both sides tried. More so Myles Garrett tried than the Browns organization. But here's the truth. I love Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett is fantastic. Myles Garrett is the model citizen of what you want from a Cleveland sports athlete. He will go down as one of the greatest Cleveland sports athletes of all time. Absolutely, no doubt at all. But here's the truth. Defensive ends, they don't impact winning like the quarterback impacts winning. So despite the fact that Myles Garrett did what he did, broke that single season sack record and was amazing, we still find ourselves where we are. A non-winning season, and again, a defensive end could only do so much. So you had to move forward. And the Rams were pushing hard for this trade to happen because the Rams, they know that the NFC is at least the NFC West, is a dogfight. They got to overcome Seattle, so, they got to do what they need to do, for them. So they know that it's an absolute dogfight over there in the NFC West. And Myles Garrett, in a win-now situation, is going to be obviously a huge addition. I don't think the Browns, if you evaluate the trade itself, again, I've heard different opinions. I don't think it's the worst trade in the world. I think it's clear and obvious that they're building a young team, but this is what they had to do. And there are 4 people that you could blame for us being in this position in the first place. Like, again, nobody wakes up and says, let me go ahead and trade Myles Garrett. Nobody does that. We're here because of Deshaun Watson, Jimmy Haslam, Andrew Berry, and Kevin Stefanski. And I've been hearing coverage across the spectrum, people leaving out Kevin Stefanski. Kevin Stefanski is just as part of this problem as the other ones. Just as much. And what Kevin Stefanski did, he went to Atlanta and said, oh, that wasn't on me. That's not on me. And if Andrew Berry is ever let go, he's going to have other job opportunities because he's going to go and say, well, actually, that was not really my decision to bring in Deshaun Watson. All of them are at fault here. All of them are the reason why you're getting rid of one of the greatest Cleveland Brown players of all time, because that contract was a disaster. It's the worst contract in sports, and we are not winning. And this move is prepping for that. Now you're looking at your team and saying, okay, are we going to be ready to go for 2029? Are we going to be ready to go when the stadium opens, in Brook Park? That's what this is. It's an indication, because let's be real, ladies and gentlemen. If you're engaged for 5 years but don't have a date for a wedding, it's kind of the deal here. you're looking at Myles Garrett and saying, boy, we're going to put a winning product out on the field. We're going to put a winning product out on the field. Nah. It's been 3 years since the Browns made the playoffs, but the team that the Browns put on the field in 2023 is a distant memory. And then we're not even talking about the real playoff team from 2020. So that's that. Myles Garrett in particular, I know, listen. You're in Los Angeles. You don't have to get behind the wheel. You don't have to do all that. But overall, all kidding aside, thank you, Myles Garrett. Thank you for everything that you've done here in Cleveland. He's always been great to the fans. He's always been, at least publicly, great to his teammates. Again, we don't know in the locker room, but by most accounts, great in the locker room. Remember, too, Myles should get credit for this. Even after that whole PR parade at Radio Row during Super Bowl week last year, Myles still balled out. Like, Myles could have easily have sat out the season. Myles could have packed it in and said, no, I'm good. Myles Garrett, to his credit, despite, the Browns' offense looking horrible, Myles Garrett went out and handled business. He did. Now, do I think Myles Garrett had the greatest winning attitude? That, I don't know. And honestly, there are times where I do question that winning attitude. But at the same time, this is the one area where I'll say, hey, if you ball out and you're in an organization that just refuses to evolve, themselves, those tendencies are going to creep in. It's human, human nature. So I expect Myles Garrett to have, a huge run in Los Angeles. All the pressure is on the Rams. I mentioned earlier in our breaking news coverage, the draft strategy for the Rams now makes sense because they drafted Ty Simpson in the first round. I believe it was the 13th pick. They drafted Ty Simpson. And a lot of people, I know we had Commissioner's Couch draft coverage. It was like, wait a minute, what the hell is going on with that? Like, wait, what? Like, why did they do that? But it made sense. Now it really makes sense because they're not going to have, we got there first. They're not going to have a first-round pick. We have it. So because Matthew Stafford is on a year-to-year basis, you're almost treating this like, Ty Simpson is that first-round pick for really 2020, their first-round pick for 2027. So that's kind of how they're looking at it, from the standpoint of Los Angeles. But here in Cleveland, we got bigger things we got to worry about. We got much bigger things. You got a young team, and again, this contract, you can't pay for anybody else. You really can't. But I will say this. If the roster is that good, roster's good enough to win right now, you got 2 back-to-back defensive rookie players of the year on your roster now. I keep going back to this. Do you have a team that's good enough to win 10 games in the AFC North? I think that's all you need to win the AFC North is 10 games. Do you have enough there? That, I don't know. And it's going to ultimately come down to Deshaun Watson, Shedeur Sanders, or whomever at quarterback. And we talked about, the quarterback position within itself. I've been on record in saying, look, I think Shedeur Sanders can be that dude. I think he showed flashes that he could be that dude. I think when he had talent around him operating, he has shown that he was the only quarterback that was able to deliver the football down the field. No problem. Harold Fannin, no problem. So now they drafted 2 receivers. You build up your offense. Offensive line's been built up. I think Shedeur could do some good things, but he won't get that opportunity because Deshaun Watson is going to shine in practice. it's almost kind of a trap. It's like you have an ace player in practice, but when the time comes for full speed, it's going to be a disaster. But the contract is what it is. Like, it's almost, you almost say to yourself, again, how did we get to this point in the first place? Like, if you really break down that Friday after St. Patrick's Day 2022, and it's been 4 years, you're like, how do we get to this point in the first place? That famous, oh man, it's the worst image in professional, in the Browns' history. It's that image of Deshaun Watson, Jimmy Haslam, and Kevin Stefanski. And, of course, Andrew Berry being a part of it, too. And that press conference. And then all the stuff. All the on the field, like all the off the field stuff. And then on the field, like not looking good either. But in practice, it looks great. You know, we had Garrett Bush, G. Bush from the Barbershop, Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. He was on these airwaves. And he talked about it. He's like, Deshaun Watson in practice, no pads, or maybe it's just a helmet and that's it, but, you know, no pads. He's going to look great. He knows football. He knows the game. But what can you do when the pads come on? I think that's absolutely huge. Let me bring in Eli, who has put in, for the first time in network history, he's put in a 12-hour shift. Eli, I'm not going to ask you any football questions or anything like that.
Come on, I'm ready.
I've honestly had enough of this topic. Yep. I should say that, but listen. I do have one question for you.
Yeah, what's up, dude?
Why do the Browns suck this badly?
I don't know. It's a question as old as time. Something we'll probably never get answered before we both are gone from this earth in 100 years. They'll probably still be fighting the same battles. I mean, that's, I don't know, Double A. And I've spent a lot of time here on the network across the entire day talking about my feelings on the Myles Garrett trade and everything. You put into context, okay, he probably didn't want to be here anymore. I get that. But also the fact that the haul and Chad and I spent a good time on prime time talking about, just how much Jared Verse is really going to shift how people feel about this trade, depending how he plays, because he is a standalone player. I compared it to the Cavaliers when they traded Kyrie for Isaiah Thomas. Yes, it wasn't fair to Isaiah Thomas, no, but Isaiah Thomas was the main piece we got back for Kyrie Irving. Jared Verse is the main piece we got back right now for Myles Garrett. So Cleveland fans are going to be crazy, and they're going to hold them to that standard. Now, is it fair to hold him to Myles Garrett standard? No, and I don't think we should do that. I said that on prime time. But I think he's going to have to come in and be a key contributor. This can't be the best 2 years of Jared Verse's life in Los Angeles. Then he comes to Cleveland and does a Dwayne Bowe or does just Jamie Collins out of New England. We thought we were really getting a superstar with Jamie Collins. And he did so well, we sent him back to New England. He won another Super Bowl.
Yeah, we've seen that too. And that is a worry for me. It's like, man, you look good on tape in another city, and then when you put on the Cleveland uniform.
Because my other thing is, too, and I'm just double-checking. Like I said, I've been doing my research on Jared Verse here, more and more. I know he's a Dayton guy, so welcome back home. But he played college football, right, at Florida State and then Albany. So Albany, a little, colder weather, but primarily at Florida State. So this is also a guy who, yes, I get some road games in Philly here and there, but he hasn't played in a lot of cold weather recently. He's been playing in a dome in Los Angeles, and then before that he was playing in warm Florida weather besides away games, but primarily in Florida where it's nice and Los Angeles where it's nice. And I'm not trying to be the Debbie Downer, but somebody's got to be a realist about this. I mean, that's just what it is. Jared Verse doesn't have to be Myles Garrett, but he needs to continue to improve. We cannot just have got this version of Jared Verse and be like, and we're happy. Like, I get he's 25, I get all that. But I have no reason to believe Andrew Berry's going to nail these draft picks. So, in my opinion, Jared Verse, the guy who, again, I'll say it again, the open market is saying, if he went to the open market, he'd be worth 2 first-rounders. So, you got to play like that. That's what it is.
No, it's a huge expectation. I'll leave you with this. We got to take a break. I'll leave you with this. Pro Football Network had brought up the stats. most pressures in the NFL over the last 2 seasons. Myles Garrett, it's still strange to see Myles Garrett, LAR, for the Rams now. So that's going to take some getting used to, not seeing CLE next to Myles Garrett's name. But Myles Garrett, now the Los Angeles Rams, 167 pressures in the NFL over the last 2 seasons. Josh Hines Allen from Jacksonville, 158. And then our new guy, Jared Verse, 157 pressures over the last 2 seasons. Next on that list, Micah Parsons and Daniel Hunter, both at 149. So the resume is there, like creating pressure, it is there. But Eli does bring up a good point with all that stuff. So, again, hopefully the trade works out and all that stuff. But we're going to take a break. When we come back, I do want to dive a little bit more into what this means in terms of the Cleveland Browns' future. We kind of got into it a little bit, but I want to dive more into that coming up in just a little bit. Also, I'm telling you, this happens when I do main event. We do main event every Sunday night on the Inside Edge Network. Myself, Eli Moon, Rob Rozicki. This always, I think once every 2 or 3 weeks, I believe what I say it, and then I don't realize the impact of what I just said until I said it. And then I'm like, oh, crap, I can't just leave that on the cutting room floor. We got to really dive in. Donovan Mitchell. I said the Cavs should trade him. But when we come back, I will explain the other part of what I said in terms of why the Cavaliers should trade Donovan Mitchell right now. We'll be back right after this on Midnight Run.
Clean energy, bold flavors, and no jitters. See why people won't shut up about Dubby. Clean energy, no jitters or crash. Whether you're starting your workday or getting ready to exercise, Dubby Energy helps you lock in and focus. With over 15 flavors to choose from, you can't miss. Order Dubby Energy right now by using the QR code on your screen and use the promo code InsideEdge10 to receive 10% off your order. Dubby Energy, your energy-focused sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Monster Clean Moments Energy Photography is a husband and wife wedding photography why people won't shut up about Dubby. Owned and operated by Inside Edge Network's very own Ryan Mosser and his wife Hallie. For the past 10 years, they've captured more than 100 weddings across Northeast Ohio and beyond, always working together as a true two-person team. Their style centers on authentic, emotional storytelling, documenting the real moments between two people in love and creating images that feel natural, comfortable, and true to the couple. Rooted in Northern Ohio but inspired by their travels, Ryan and Hallie bring a warm, personal approach to every wedding day. Their work blends experience, consistency, and a genuine passion for helping couples relive their best day through timeless photography. Learn more at MosserMomentsPhotography.com by using the QR code on your screen right now. MosserMomentsPhotography.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Find us on InsideEdgeNetwork.com for the latest information on your favorite shows, personalities, and network partners. Plus, guess what? We have a merch shop. That's right, we have network polos, t-shirts, champion jackets, hats, and bottles. Rep the network. Every purchase supports independent sports and entertainment media. Use the QR code on your screen right now to check out InsideEdgeNetwork.com. That's InsideEdgeNetwork.com.
This is Midnight Run on the Inside Edge Network. Here's your host, Anthony Alford.
So I'm going to tell you guys this. Welcome back to the show. I just want to say this show, we try to do our best to get unhinged. We got to go 60 minutes today, breaking down Myles Garrett and being emotional. But because here's the thing. We got Midnight Conversations later in the week. We got a segment tomorrow. We're going to actually debut a new segment tomorrow. We were supposed to debut it tonight, but, things happened. We're going to debut a new segment tomorrow on top of Big Back Tuesday. We have that, and then but we have to go 60 minutes here breaking down, the Myles Garrett stuff. And I understand being emotional and things like that. Hold on, folks. Give me 2 seconds here. I understand being emotional and things like that. Sorry, Eli. I had to take care of some things just now there. That's why I muted myself. All right, we're back. What do you want? It's 12:33, okay? All right. Oh, that was a good one. Wow. We're going to have to spray down during the break. Like and subscribe, follow at Inside Edge Net. Oh, man. Okay. All right. Oh, man. What is going on here? What is happening? That dude ain't getting a girl anytime soon. No. You imagine explaining to... listen, now, I will say this. A lot of fans now are more smart and knowledgeable about the game than ever before, right? So I understand there's an emotional attachment to athletes. I'll get, my personal story again. 2010 when LeBron took his talents to South Beach. I thought growing up, you could only be a team sports fan and that's it. But then here in Cleveland, I think I saw a lot more with younger people. I saw people wearing LeBron Miami Heat jerseys. And I'm like, wait, what the hell is going on? There are people who support players. Like, I will say this. Myles Garrett getting traded to the Rams, who, The Rams, they're not a rival of the Cleveland Browns. I mean, the Rams actually do have, I believe they have Cleveland ties, like years ago, with the Cleveland Rams. Get your facts straight, folks. They have their history. They know it. But listen, in 2026, nobody's going to go out there and be like, "Oh, we're the Rams," and that's that. But you're going to see people buy Myles Garrett LA Rams jerseys. That's just going to be the way it is. Tony Grossi brought up something earlier today. I wanted to read this tweet because this is where the dysfunction with the Browns really plays in. So remember earlier today, Todd Monken, and this was when the news of the Myles Garrett trade was fresh. It wasn't technically official, but the news was out. Shefty had all your reporters, locally and nationally, they had it. The Browns had a golf outing earlier today, and Todd Monken was asked about, Myles Garrett. And Todd Monken said that we know they never talked, supposedly. And then he said earlier today that he was never assured Myles Garrett would be on the roster this year. Yet, the day that he took the job, he said he took the job because of Myles Garrett, not Jim Schwartz. And that is true. I remember, and we played that clip when Todd Monken was hired. He had this introductory press conference, and he said that quote, and I think we all said here at the network, yeah, Jim Schwartz is out of a job. Like, he's not going to stay for that. So that is strange, and I think that points to, I know Jimmy Haslam for years has talked about alignment and everyone being in lockstep with each other with decisions and things like that. But I question how locked in is Todd Monken. Like, what do you expect Todd Monken to do? Like, okay, so do you expect the roster that you're putting out there to win? Like, you traded Myles Garrett. Are you going to go to Todd Monken and say, you got a bunch of young kids, you got unproven quarterbacks, go out and win or else? And this is the same Todd Monken that I'm sure was in interviews saying, I'm going to have Myles Garrett. I won't have a thing to worry about on defense. I'm going to have Myles Garrett. So the lack of communication, I don't even know if they said a word. Maybe they exchanged text and that's it. But the lack of communication between Todd Monken and Myles Garrett, all those things, you do question, and due to the lack of success for the Cleveland Browns over the last generation, plus, you do question, where is the communication level with the Cleveland Browns? It's been dog poop. I mean, it's not good. It's not good. Still can't believe. How have you not won the division since 1989? I'm sorry. Sometimes I just think of random things. 1989. Think of all the things that's happened in your life since 1989. And if you're watching and you're saying, I wasn't born in 1989, you get the point. We had a stat yesterday on Main Event about the San Antonio Spurs basically going through, multiple NBA finals and Tim Duncan, and then Tim Duncan retired. They bottomed out, and then Wemby brought him back to the NBA finals, all before the Dallas Cowboys, ever since the Dallas Cowboys went to their last NFC championship game, and it's been 30 years, the Browns, even longer. And I think we're so hard on teams, and we should be, and why the moves the Browns have made in the past, and the Deshaun Watson contract, Donovan Mitchell, what he had to say. It's frustrating because on one hand, we want to have teams that, you want to have a winning product. Everybody wants to have a winning product. But you F up and you F around enough times, 30-plus years can go by without you winning a division title. We're talking, let's see, 1989. We're talking 37 years. 37 years. I was born in 92, and I have yet to see a Cleveland Browns divisional win. I think we're the only ones since 92 that has not won a division in the NFL. That's strange. I don't know. But there's a lot of questions to be answered. Last point about this story, and then I've had enough. Good luck to Myles Garrett, all that stuff. That 2027 first-round pick, that's going to be huge. If somehow, some way, it won't happen, but if somehow, some way, the Browns are winners or things like that, who knows? That 2027 first, that could be your next quarterback. There's 6, 7, or 8 quarterbacks available. By all indications of this organization, is either going to be Deshaun Watson somehow firing up that old Tesla and doing it, or bust. Because by all accounts, I don't think this organization has any faith whatsoever in Shedeur Sanders. And I think they're effing idiots for not having faith in Shedeur Sanders. So when Deshaun Watson, when that bubble burst, and that's it, that 2027 first, that's going to be for, perhaps a quarterback, and maybe you can maneuver and move up or do whatever. So who knows? We'll have to see. Real quick before we go to break, I brought up yesterday on the main event. I want to shift gears to the Cavs for a brief moment. I brought up yesterday on the main event because we were talking. Who do you move? Okay, the Cavs are going to stick with their core four by all reports. They're sticking with their core four and running everything back. But Giannis and LeBron are still on the table. It's still there. So the real question, do you stick with Evan Mobley or do you stick with Donovan Mitchell? And we're having a conversation. Myself, Eli Moon, Rob Brzezicki. We're having a conversation. And I brought up just maybe it was a spur in the moment type of question. But I brought up, I'm like, wait a minute. Why does James Harden, we're talking about how old James Harden is. And I'm not here to defend James Harden. I'm just making a point. By the way, shout out to James Harden. He was hanging with Sexy Red. Allegedly. I don't know if that's new or not, but James Harden back in the streets, back doing his thing, all that stuff. He's Hall of Famer in certain places. I'm not here to come down on James Harden, but James Harden, 36, been in the league 17 years. He had more playoff minutes than Donovan Mitchell, who right now is 29 years old. I'm like, why is that the case? And I'm like, let me ask you this. With all the injury history that Donovan Mitchell has had, his body not being able to really hold up, we saw the limping. And maybe, and Rob pointed out, astutely, he pointed out, Donovan Mitchell did run over a cameraman, and maybe that impacted him. And that could be true earlier in the playoffs. But this always happens with Donovan Mitchell, his body falling apart. And I said this last night, and I kind of stick by with this. You should trade Donovan Mitchell as quickly as you can, or not quickly, but right now. You should trade Donovan Mitchell, get pieces back. And I said this because I don't think Donovan Mitchell, his body's going to hold up. I don't see Donovan Mitchell playing in the NBA past the age of 35. I don't. The fact that James Harden is playing more playoff minutes than the younger Donovan Mitchell, yeah, Donovan Mitchell is younger in real age, but his body, him and James Harden, might as well be the same. It might as well be. I think the lesson is this, and let's go to the two shot with myself and Eli here. I think the lesson is this. I love saying that, by the way. I went so technical there.
You sure did. You sure did. I love it. I love it.
So I think the lesson is this. I get it. We get so attached to our players. We get so attached to our star players. A lot of it because of the work they do in the community and things like that.
Yeah.
But there's a ceiling. And I do think, two different cases here, but Donovan Mitchell and Myles Garrett, both similar. Don't wait until it's too late to move off of somebody. Do you like what you're seeing with Donovan Mitchell right now? Do you feel like he can get to the next level? And if the answer is no, then you better get pieces back while you can get pieces back, or else. Myles Garrett, you could have got more pieces back if you moved off of Myles Garrett a year ago. So I think we have there's the attachment thing, Eli, that it's not just us, it's everywhere, but I think really it's us because our teams, we're Cleveland sports fans. We've been through a ton of heartbreak. So we try to attach to these players, and it's like, oh, don't go, don't go, don't go. But sometimes you got to move off of people before it's too late.
I agree. And the Myles, I know we got to go to break here in a minute. I think the Myles and the Donovan trades are so tricky. If the Cavs were to pull off a Donovan Mitchell trade, I think the city loves Donovan, but I don't think they loved him like Myles. They don't love him like Myles. Myles was drafted here. He's a Cleveland Brown through and through. Donovan was an export. We always forget that. We don't talk about it too much. Donovan's an export. He came in from Utah. We have acquired him to get the job done. We didn't draft him. We didn't see it through like Kyrie or any of these guys. So I think it gets a little dicier. I guess all that to be said, I'm curious what you have to say after the break, but all that to be said, I'd move off of Donovan Mitchell.
I would too. I would too, and especially next year's going to be the contract year? No, you got to move. You got to move it off. You got to do what you can. But yeah, I think right now, the lesson for today, with Myles Garrett and then even with Donovan Mitchell is, what do you want out of your organization? Don't get too attached to players, otherwise, you won't get what you want, out of it. All right, when we come back from break, we rarely talk pro wrestling on this show. That's for the Side Hustle Wrestling Podcast, myself, Kyle Cordell, which you can hear Friday morning right here on the Inside Edge Network. But Eli and I, to close out this hectic day, we've given you 24/7 Myles Garrett coverage. I've had enough of Myles Garrett coverage. Oh, did not mention real quick about Myles Garrett. The one person celebrating today is Mason Rudolph. He's celebrating right now. That helmet swing, that Thursday night, I went crazy on WTAM. When we come back, what I saw Saturday night out of Mexico was pretty darn special. We'll talk about that next as we close out day one of Midnight Run. Plus, we'll take you behind closed doors. If you're a small business and you got to go through a lot of changes and stuff, today was that day. We'll talk about it next.
Whether searching for a baseball autographed by your favorite World Series slugger, a signed football by an iconic Hall of Famer, or the jersey of a world-famous soccer star, you've come to the right place. Here at sportsmemorabilia.com, the web's leading source of authentic sports memorabilia, you'll find more than 500,000 authentic products from nearly every professional sports league, team, and players. Not only will you find your next prized sports possession with ease thanks to superb customer service and tremendous site experience, you'll have the satisfaction and peace of mind that every product listed comes complete with a certificate of authenticity and is fully backed by the sportsmemorabilia.com lifetime authenticity guarantee. Go to sportsmemorabilia.com by using the QR code on your screen right now. Sportsmemorabilia.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Podcast Network, Cleveland's digital leader.
Small business owners are superheroes, but nowadays running your business means doing so inside your shop and on social media. That's why you should make Omega Video Marketing your sidekick. With a decade of content creation experience, I create dynamic, informative, and fun videos for your specific social needs that will increase brand awareness, get you more followers, and keep your social pages and websites current and fresh. I offer flexible pricing and turn times and will work with you to understand your brand and your story. All of that comes from the heart. My award-winning expertise is just the cherry on top. So let's get connected. After all, your brand is the alpha and my expertise is the omega.
This is Midnight Run on the Inside Edge Network. Here's your host, Anthony Alford.
We are back here on Midnight Run here on the Inside Edge Network. My name is Anthony Alford. Final segment of the show, and what a day here for the network. Starting at 9 a.m. with the Inside Edge Morning Show, our guy Omar, day one. I don't think he likes Deshaun Watson, but he had that going. Of course, Unfiltered with Kyle Cornell, breaking news. In fact, about to go behind the fourth wall, but, he was taping, and the news broke, of course, during the taping. So he came on live, and then myself, Eli, and Chad, we have breaking news coverage at 4 o'clock. Illegal formation, return of illegal formation, Chad Bryant, TK Dandridge at 7. And then Inside Edge Prime Time, 10 to 11-ish with Eli and Chad. And then we're finishing off the day with Midnight Run. Tomorrow, I don't think we'll have major breaking news, but you should tune in tomorrow to the Inside Edge Network. Of course, we'll have the morning show at 9 a.m., Unfiltered at 5. We have special programming, and I'll let Eli know right now. I'll produce this unless you volunteer, and I will give you an incentive to volunteer. But otherwise, I'll produce it. You've done enough. Jersey Chasers will have a special Tuesday night episode, and here's why. Tomorrow night is the season premiere of Love Island USA, and because of all this stuff, we haven't been able to give a sales pitch to Eli and Chad on Love Island USA. But I guess they're going to have to tune in tomorrow night. We'll be on at 8:30. And I say we because they've invited me to be a part of this watch along. So Autumn Chisholm, Christy Acuti of the Jersey Chasers. And then I'll be on as well. 8:30 to 10:30. Or a little bit before then, probably. Inside Edge Prime Time will be on after, and then Midnight Run will be on after that. So it's actually going to be a one-stream night tomorrow here on the network. The cast is, here's the funny thing. Oh, like and subscribe and follow at Inside Edge Net across all of our socials, InsideEdgeNetwork.com. You want to just have that bookmark. Have a bookmark there. I will say this about reality shows. Stay away from social media. I think everybody has an opinion, like negative opinions about certain things. Everyone does a deep dive on cast members and stuff. It's just, I don't know. It is what it is. Everyone talks, but let's just watch the show. Let's watch it play out. Let's watch the show play out and go from there. But that'll be tomorrow because, again, we don't just cover sports. It's entertainment, mental health, news of the day, all that stuff. So, and I usually don't invoke my program director privileges here, but this was by special request of me. Okay, Love Island was last year. Listen, I know people are like, "Oh, Love Island USA last season was the worst season." It was my first season, and I enjoyed it. So it's gonna be fantastic. We're gonna watch together. So just have Love Island on, and then have us on your phone or something like that, and we'll be locked in and ready to go. Plus, during that live stream, I will get Autumn and Christy's thoughts on the Myles Garrett trade itself too. So they'll obviously have input for that. Real quickly, also on this show tomorrow, Midnight Run, we're gonna debut a new segment, which we were gonna debut tonight, and then news broke. I think sometimes we get locked in our bubble here in Cleveland, or sometimes the national scope. But we're going to debut a new segment called Clear Channel. And Clear Channel, we take a big story and we want to get local perspective on, local reaction from whoever is involved. So, for the debut edition of Clear Channel, we'll do it tomorrow. We're gonna aim for 12:20 for this tomorrow. But what we'll do, I want to get OKC's reaction for, OKC radio from losing the Western Conference Finals, San Antonio's reaction from advancing to the NBA Finals, and then the New York Knicks, New York radio, their reaction to the Knicks learning that they're going to face San Antonio in the NBA Finals. I think we'll get that, all that there. All right, Eli, let's close this thing out. Again, I rarely talk pro wrestling on this show, but I do think it's worth mentioning that Saturday night's mask versus mask match from AAA, one of the most special things I've ever seen in pro wrestling. I mean, you have El Grande Americano, the original OG from, with Chad Gable. The fact that he took a character, a joke of a character, and turned it into all of this. Like, whoa. And then he got injured, but the character was so over, we got to bring in somebody else. Liquid Kaiser steps in, and then, oh, crap, this guy's actually learning Spanish. He's actually embracing the fans. And if you watched it for the first time, you would think Liquid Kaiser was John Cena, Stone Cold, The Rock, whoever, in one with that crowd. And that show, that match, Eli, you want to talk about storytelling, you want to talk about everything coming together, that was magic.
Yeah, Double A. I mean, you hit the nail right on the head. The fact that it was turned into, the WWE being the WWE in a way there. I talked about in the morning show way back a long time ago. It feels like that was
3,000 hours ago.
Yeah, what is time anymore? But what I talked to Omar about this morning, because he has some glowing reviews about it too, and I don't know who won it. But the fact that it turned into originally a joke gimmick, WWE being WWE, they get AAA, they acquire AAA, and then okay, we're gonna trot out the American gimmick. Okay, ha ha, hee hee, and then it turns into, like you said, Chad, and then Chad obviously got injured, but then you have Ludwig Kaiser. I don't know if we should be revealing who's under the real El Grande, bud. But I mean, we'll do it. El Grande Americano.
Everybody saw it. Yeah, you can reveal it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you got Chad Gable, and then you got the real El Grande Americano, and then you got both of them duking it out, and the fact that they took so much pride into like the Mexican culture, the Hispanic culture, and like really like it was so cool to see. If you're not a wrestling fan, like this was one of the coolest things ever in America, in the States. OG El Grande Americano was over, and then El Grande Americano was the heel. And then you go to Mexico.
Meaning bad guy. Yes.
Yes, sorry. Yes, bad guy. Yes, sorry. We're not usually wrestling guys here.
Yeah.
So, El Grande, who still has his mask, was the bad guy. And OG El Grande, who got unmasked, was the good guy in the States. And then you go to Mexico, and El Grande, who still has his mask, is like the most beloved. Like Double A said, John Cena, Stone Cold, like these types of they acknowledge Roman Reigns on Raw. They acknowledged El Grande Americano in Mexico. And then you have OG El Grande Americano, who's the bad guy there. So it was just so crazy wherever they were, the gimmicks kind of changed, the roles changed. And then just, the embracing of it all. The embracing of it all was so cool. And you look at you're learning how to speak Spanish, embracing the Hispanic crowd. You would have thought he came through the AAA ranks. He wasn't even a WWE guy. And I think that was the most refreshing thing, Double A. The fact they bled, too. I know that's a big complaint in pro wrestling. They don't bleed enough unless you watch AEW and they're shoving toothpicks in their head or whatever.
Every Wednesday night.
Yeah. But, I mean, when it's necessary and it's needed, I think it's perfect. And it was a blood feud between two guys not trying to lose their mask. and that's why you got the blood. And I don't know. I think this could be really good. I know we're pretty much out of time. I think this could be really good for Chad Gable. I think they could finally be like, you know what? Now you have done everything we have asked out of you. You have made the Shoosh gimmick pop. You have made, American Alpha do their thing or whatever those guys are, the Creed brothers, those guys do their things. You have had all of this. You did the El Grande Americano, the OG. You've done everything we have asked for you. You know what? We can at least give you a mid-card title run. I'm not going to sit there and say Chad Gable's a world title, but he has everything you would, and I don't usually agree with Dave Meltzer, AA. I know it's crazy, but Dave Meltzer made a really good point, which I don't ever hear me say that again. But
I want you to say that loudly during the 5 o'clock show.
Yeah, I know, and I know Kyle would be mad at me. But I did see something. Dave Meltzer was talking about Chad Gable, and he said about how he has everything the WWE would look for. Like he has the charisma.
He does.
He can wrestle. He's over with the fans. He has everything you're looking for. He'll take any gimmick and embrace it. So I just don't know what else he has to do in order to get some sort of love from the WWE. And then as far as El Grande, he's still rocking with his mask. I'm curious to see what they do with him in AAA.
Well, and we're going to talk more, myself and Kyle, we'll talk more extensively about all of this on the Side Hustle podcast, because I made a post on honestly, I think I made this post at like 5 in the morning on Monday, because I was so disgusted with Clash in Italy. I was so disgusted. And 30 seconds does not allow me the time that I need to dive in. I was disgusted, and then Raw happened. I haven't watched the full show yet, but like a hot open, one of the best matches from Monday Night Raw I've seen all year. So like, okay, they know. There are times where promoters know, like, oh, we kind of stunk up the joint. We gotta get fans back on board, or else. And you do have the international thing here. Last thing, and then we're done.
Yes.
This was day one, to go behind the scenes here for a couple seconds. Today kind of felt, we've been on the air with the Inside Edge Network since September 5th, 2025. Today, June 1st, kind of served as like a kind of a relaunch with a new program.
This is like the VEC rule. This is like the VEC rule, double. Real quick, I know you're about to go on your
yeah,
this
go
is
ahead.
Like way back Wednesday. Like I can't remember the guy's first name. Chad will yell at me tomorrow. But this is like the VEC rule. The it was the Indians at the time, and they had a bad start to the season, so they launched a second opening day. That's kind of
yes, it was. It was. Yeah. It was. I forgot which owner, but yes. And
that's
honestly, I do support a second opening day. I support that for the Browns. I think, Deshaun Watson's going to start. He's going to bomb. And when they bring out Shedeur Sanders for like the 4th or 5th home game, they should have a second opening day.
Yeah.
I actually support that.
Yeah.
I think the second opening day supports bad teams. We're going to turn this thing around.
What else? I mean, we've done parade for 0-16 teams. I mean, can we just get a second opening day? All right, back to your very serious monologue to end this.
It's not even that serious, honestly, but we have a whole program. I just like the fact we could do stuff randomly. I like the fact we have.
That's the one you chose.
We have hotkeys. We have hotkeys. Triv one time did a best of show just messing with hotkeys.
I mean, he's a legend. I mean, one of the most legendary broadcasters of all time, in my opinion.
You, sir, won $1,000.
Oh, come on. I came here for the big bucks. All right.
What's behind door number 3?
Oh, damn it. Did you ever, okay, we're going to get off tangent here. Did you ever see the show Whammy? Do you remember the game show?
Oh, that used to be that Whammy, and then the OG, Press Your Luck.
Yes, because they changed it to Whammy because everybody's like, well, what do you call Whammy? And they just named it Whammy. Oh, my goodness. All right.
No, I do have, so back at the broadcasting school, one of our projects was like, hey, put a television game show together. I used the music for Press Your Luck.
Okay. Okay.
And we did a show, and again, myself, Robert, Zicky, Kyle, we were in the same class. Eli was a month ahead of us. We did a show called Match Made in Heaven.
I remember this.
And we did it. And we had our guy, rest in peace, Mike Holico, host the show. And we were basically, it was basically a dating show.
Yes.
And it's like, oh, you got to, the hot whatever. Oh, do you have what it takes? Oh, I can get her.
That actually changed the way like classes were allowed to do like their game shows moving forward because you guys caused such a stir. Oh my goodness, bro. Do we have an idea? I have an idea. I think the morning show starts here in about 8 hours, Double A.
It is time for the wonderful world of Disney.
So, yeah, be very careful. We'll get,
I'm sorry, not Disney. Disney.
yeah.
Disney. With Mickey Horse.
Mickey, Ricky Rat.
Pretty Ricky. No, I'm kidding. No, that's
my
wrong
goodness.
show. Wrong.
You know when we start rambling like this, that means it's time for both of us to go to bed.
Oh, you can play all these at the same time?
Yeah, you're careful. Don't blow this thing up. We've been rocking all day.
It's time to go to bed. It's been a long day. A lot of administrative stuff has been done today. Like and subscribe. Kyle's kid actually does this promo the best.
Really? I believe it.
Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. I'm kidding. I ain't got nothing else. I had an idea for Midnight Conversations, just popped in my head, but I'm not going to ramble because we're out of time.
Text me. They'll find out Wednesday. Text me.
They're going to find out. You guys kind of already know, but I'll preview this. When they say extra mustard.
Oh, you're so foul. You're so foul for this one. I love you. You're so foul.
Good night, everybody.